Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday. I am out here in Dallas again with my sister, Trina Bina, is what we call her. Her name's Katrina. Many of you are aware of who she is because she has her own YouTube ministry. She's a teacher of the Word of God, really good teacher. But, anyways, that's where I am. I'm in Dallas. I am sitting in the backyard on the patio because it is so nice out here, guys. Let me see if I can show you. Hold on. Look at the weather today, guys. Have these citronella candles going because if you know, you know. I don't do the bugs, okay? But it's so beautiful. Do you guys see the leaves blowing because it's like windy? That never happens in Houston. Maybe this breeze is a Dallas thing, but guys, it's so pretty outside. Nala, say hi to the people. Nala's like, nah, not today. But yeah, guys, it's so pretty outside. So I'm sitting on the other sofa, or sectional, I don't even know, loungewear. Yeah, guys, that's what I'm doing. I'm outside, my little blankie, and just sitting here with, of course, a cup of coffee. But I just wanted to get on here and just share something that the Lord allowed me to, I look shiny too. The Lord allowed me to experience yesterday, and it's so simple, but it's so big. So let me just get into it. I was going to Target yesterday, right? Yesterday, my sister had a play date. Her son had a play date. So I didn't want to go to the play date, so I just like stayed behind. I woke up yesterday, went for like a 3 mile walk around like the parks in the neighborhood and just got some exercise in and came back, chilled for a bit, and they were getting ready to leave, so they left. And I wanted to go to the Ross and the Target over here just to pick up a few things. And after I left Ross, I was heading to Target, which was right up the street. Like all these stores are right up the street from her house. And of course, this is a place that I'm not familiar with. I'm not from Dallas. I don't live in Dallas. I've only been here to this actual area one time. So I'm not familiar with the area. So, of course, I'm using GPS and all the things. And as I was pulling into the parking lot to get into the Target Plaza, there were like cars in all different directions. Many of them in a line, like a long line, waiting to get out of the parking lot. So they were all waiting to get out of the parking lot through this exit line, right? As I'm entering, and I'm looking at these cars, some a line from the left, a line from the right, a line already in the exit line. So I'm thinking to myself, this is going to take them forever to get out of this parking lot. And I'm also thinking, like, maybe I came to the wrong Target because if I have to sit here, because I knew by the amount of cars in all of these lines to get out of this one way, it was going to take them a while. And I don't be having that kind of time, y'all. So I'm like, if this is the exit line, I'm like, I done came to the wrong Target because I don't have time to be sitting here. But at the same time, I was like, I'm not in a rush to get back to the house. I'm kind of just having a little outing in an unfamiliar area. I actually like being in unfamiliar places, like new places. So I'm like, it'll be okay either way. But I'm like, I don't want to sit in that like line to exit. So I should have maybe chosen another Target, but whatever, we're here now, right? So I park, I go inside, get the things that I need. I come back out to my car, and of course I remember that I had just saw this exit line. So I'm like, okay, do I go to the exit line, or what are you doing, Nala? I'm trying to watch Nala, child. But I'm like, do I go to this exit line? Like, what do I do to get out of here? And the Lord just guided me to a different way. It's like, go to the right and go all the way around. So I went to the right, went all the way around the parking lot, which wasn't that far. Like, it was maybe 30 seconds. And I saw an exit, right? And I went towards this exit, which was on a side street, right? There were no cars. I think there was maybe one car that was already at the light, but there was no cars, guys. And I was already out of the Target parking lot and at my light to turn to get back to the house, right? Meanwhile, all these cars are still trying to get out of the other exit that I saw when I came in the store, right? And the Lord used that experience to minister to me that sometimes instead of seeking God and allowing him to guide us to an easier route out, or even an easier route in to where he's taking us, we watch other people and we think that because everyone's going in this one direction. Nala, get over here. Nala. We think because everybody's going in this one direction, it must be the right direction, because everybody wouldn't be going in this direction if there was another option, right? That's the way we think. We're like, this must be the way out because everybody's in this line. If there was another way, this line wouldn't have as many cars. They would go the other ways, but that is not always the case with man, okay? People have the tendency to follow the route everybody else seems to be taking. Okay, they have the tendency to follow. Nala. I'm trying to watch her, child, so she don't get eaten by these big bulldogs next door. But she has the, like, not she. Let me get back on track. We have the tendency to try to follow everybody else, right? To try to think that because everybody's in this line, everybody's going in this direction, that is the only way. And God is saying, if you seek him, there's an easier way out. There's an easier way to enter where he's taking you. But if we only look at people around us in the direction that they are going in and just assume that this must be the route that everybody's going, we get stuck at a standstill when we don't have to. God has another way, but it takes for us to take our eyes off of people and put our eyes up to him and say, God, like, how do I get out of here? What's the route I'm supposed to take to go home? What's the route I'm supposed to take to go to my destination? I'm in an unfamiliar spot, Lord. I don't know what to do. What direction do I take? I see everybody going this way, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm supposed to go that way. So what route do you want me to take? And often when we let God take us the route that he has set, it's not that hard. It's not that difficult. There is no waiting, right? We just go right to where we're going. Like everything God sends our way does not come with struggle. Some of it does not come with a wait. With some things that God sends our way, when he puts us in the unfamiliar, there's ease to it. But we allow it to be hard because we're following the crowd. But he tells us in scripture, like, many people want to take the wide way, but they don't want to take the narrow way, right? Many people go the wide route, but to take the narrow route, to take the route to him, very few people want to go that route. They'd rather do whatever they want to do. So I say this to say, wherever God has you in this unfamiliar season in your life, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be a place like he moved you somewhere. You can just simply be in a season of unfamiliar. Things are happening that you haven't experienced before. You feel like you're in a season that you haven't been through before. Some of you may feel like, I'm asking God what to do, but I can't hear, okay? And that's unfamiliar to you because you're used to hearing from him. But if you wait and just seek him, he will guide you in the route to go. And it does not necessarily have to be difficult. You don't have to sit in the line with everybody else to wait your turn. You can go straight to the exit and enter into wherever he's calling you to enter, okay? Even in the unfamiliar, you don't have to follow the ways of man, okay? It's like even being on the road. You're ever like traveling somewhere and all of the cars are in one lane, so you just assume that because all the cars are in this lane, there must be something going on in the other lane. But then when you get in the other lane, you realize there's no cars. It's a straight shot. Traffic is moving. Why are you guys in one lane? And it's because humans have the tendency to follow other humans instead of following God, right? And that's what we do even as Christ followers, even as believers. We have the tendency to take our eyes off of God and follow other people because everybody's going this way. And it doesn't necessarily mean like we're following bad people. These also could be followers of Christ, but they're only in the line because they feel like it's the only way to get out or to get in because everybody's here. But God is saying, if you just ask him, he'll send you the way to where nobody's in your way. It's a straight shot. My face is itching. Holy Spirit. It's a straight shot. You just get to where you're going. There's no difficulty. There's no sitting. There's no waiting. If we just ask him like what direction to go in. I would have been sitting in that line for about 20-30 minutes trying to get out of this parking lot had I tried to go back out the way that I came in. Ooh, Y'all better catch that. Had I tried to go back out the way that I came in, I would have been in the waiting with everybody else. But because God guided me a different way out, I didn't go back out the same way that I came in. There was ease to it. And y'all better catch that spiritually. Don't go back out the same way you came in. When he's bringing you into a place, it's so that you leave that place differently. It's different. You've gotten what you needed out of that space, out of that season, and you leave differently. And it's easy. It's not hard to leave. It's not hard to find a way out when you allow God to guide. Ooh, Lord Jesus. Okay. Y'all see how God just be speaking free flowing? Don't go back out the same way you came in. Just because you saw people taking that route, that doesn't mean it's your route. Ask God. I had to get in that car and I'm like, what way do I go? God just began to guide me. And he took me around a way where there was no cars. There was no hold up. I left the parking lot, went to the light, and I was on my straight street home, okay? There was no hold up. And as I'm passing the store, there's still a line at the other exit. Nobody's taking the exit that the Lord led me to get out of that parking lot. Because everybody's following everybody. So you don't have to follow everybody. That's the worst thing that you can do, is assume, oh, God allowed her to stay single for 10 years, so I know I'm going to be single for around that time before he sends my husband. No, you could be single for a month and God sends your husband. Your story is not the next person's story. Oh, this person was in debt and they couldn't buy a house until they got out of debt. That does not have to be your story. God can bless you with a house that you didn't even pay for. This person filed bankruptcy. They have a mark on their credit and I have to wait 10 years to buy a home and I'm never going to be on track. No, that does not have to be your story. You can get everything your heart desires and still have a mark on your credit, and God takes you a different way. Your story is not the next person's story. You don't even have to be one of those people that every time you see someone get on YouTube, like a prophetic voice or ministry, whatever they have, because every person on YouTube is not a prophet. There are some people are here to teach, right? They're apostles, they're teachers, and so forth. Not everybody's ministry is prophecy. And that's a whole different story that I'm going to have to talk about in a later word that I'll probably release today. But people want to go on a fast when they're not hearing from God. They're like, y'all, let's fast for 10 days, for 20 days, for 30 days. If God didn't tell you to fast, don't fast. You could simply not be hearing from him because he's not talking. And that's okay. Sit still. You don't have to fast and go on an Esther fast or a Daniel fast because everybody else is trying to do it because they want to hear from God, when God is simply telling you to sit still, go relax, go chill, take a bath. I'll answer when I get ready to and move you to your next destination. I'm not asking you to fast, but because these people are fasting every 10 days to get an answer, you feel like, oh, it must be right. Yes, fasting is good. Even when you're fasting and it's not for God to do something, fasting is good. You should be able to go long periods without eating food, right? Fasting should be something honestly done daily. I now fast daily. And I'm not fasting because I want God to do something. I'm fasting for health reasons. We're not meant to be eating every hour. Like, it's a health benefit in fasting and going hours and periods without eating. Eat when you're hungry. And your body will tell you when you're hungry. But humans, like, we're programmed to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You don't have to eat 3 meals a day. You could simply be a person who eats lunch and dinner, or a person who eats dinner, no breakfast, no lunch. It's whatever. You don't have to eat no 3 meals a day. But because the doctors say, make sure you don't skip breakfast, like, people just follow. I'm supposed to eat 3 meals a day. That's not necessarily the case. And if you really do research, you'll understand how important daily fasting is and how it should be implemented in your everyday. It should be implemented literally in your everyday. Majority of the days, I eat between 7 and 3 p.m. And it doesn't mean I eat every hour. I eat when I'm hungry. Between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. After 3 p.m., I may not have anything to eat. I may only drink something. So fasting should be something done daily because it's for health purposes. It helps you regulate your weight, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and all the things. But especially Americans, these Americans love to eat. So they eat all throughout the day, snacking and doing the most. They eat when they're not even hungry. But you don't have to. Technically, you should fast daily, and not just because, oh, I need God to speak. A lot of the times, God is not telling you to fast off of anything. So I make this word to say that you shouldn't follow the crowd and what everybody else is doing. I don't care if it's your spiritual mom, your spiritual father, if it's your friend who has the gift of discernment and all the things. Don't follow nobody but God. Your route is different. Your path is different. Your thumbprint is different for a reason. Your DNA is different for a reason. God has his own path for you, and it may not look like everybody else's path. David's path didn't look like Apostle Paul's path. Apostle Paul's path didn't look like Peter's path. Right? We can keep going all throughout scripture. Nobody had the same path. God took everybody on their separate walk. He used them differently. Isaiah's path did not look like Daniel's path. Noah's path did not look like David's path. Like, everybody had a different path from the Lord God, because we're different people and he's called us for different reasons. I'm bold for Christ because he called me to be bold for Christ. Am I for everybody? Absolutely not. Some people can't stand me, and guess what? I can't stand them either, but I love them with the love of the Lord. But I'm not for everybody. Most people will call me rude because I speak so boldly. Boldly. What's boldfully? Somebody answer the question, because that ain't a word. Boldfully. It should be a word though. Boldfully. I speak boldfully for God. I'll probably put that on a shirt. Boldly. Because I speak so boldly for God, they feel like it's arrogance or it's pride, and it's all the things. I've had people say some things and I'm just like, girl, if you don't get out of my face. Like, God knows me. He knows the person that I am. He knows I don't walk around boasting and prideful. Like, I am a really humble person. Like, I truly am. And I was just talking to my sister in Christ yesterday because we went out to dinner. We treated ourselves to, I would consider it a fancy dinner. It was Perry's Steakhouse. I had never been there before. So we decided to treat ourselves because we felt like the Lord was saying, like, treat yourself. Like, I blessed you, so it's okay to treat yourself. So I had never been to Perry's Steakhouse before, and we went yesterday and we had a blast. We had a good time, and we were just talking about how God has just changed our lives. And if we look back on how things used to be and the things we couldn't afford, and now he has a way, he's made a way for us. And there's nothing wrong with having money, but there is something wrong with having a love for money. And that's not something that I have. I'm like Paul. I've learned to be content in every situation, and not in every situation because I haven't been through everything in life, but I've learned to be content in different areas. So having, being financially grounded does not make or break me. I like being financially grounded and being able to breathe, right? I like being able to pour and give to people, and who God leads me to give to. But to be honest, when I was super broke, I had a job and stuff, but I was in debt and all the things. God had me take my paycheck and, of course, tithe first, and then sow into people, and then do this for people. And I'm just like, Lord, I got all this debt to take care of. And he kept telling me, I'll take care of it, but I need you to do what I'm telling you to do. So to be honest, I poured and did all of those things when I was like broke. Right? This is not new to me. I didn't wait until God blessed me and financially grounded me to give and to sow. That's not how it works. He sees what you'll do with a little, and then he blesses you with more. And that's not just in money, that's in all areas. He'll send you a relationship, and it's a good man, and you'll end up treating that man poorly and harshly because he may not meet all of your qualifications, right? But God is seeing what you can do with the little before he gives you the marriage, right? And not saying the man is little, but he's seeing how you steward what he's given you. This person prays with you. They're good to you. May not even be your husband. Could be somebody that God just sent into your life to test you and to show you. But because you have this snobby stank attitude, you treat this person harshly, and God is like, you're not ready for me to send your husband. Look at how you handled this person. I was seeing if I can trust you with little, and then I can trust you with more with a marriage. But you couldn't even pass this test. So God will allow us to go through stewarding small amounts of things, right? Before we get to the big boom that we've always prayed for, and he'll see how we handle it and then bless us with more. So I've already made this word a little bit longer than I hoped for, but it don't even matter because this was a prophetic flow and God is just speaking and saying what he wants to say. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I pray that this word blesses you. I have my Bible, my notebook out here today because I was already studying a word this morning, and yeah, just gonna kind of go through the day and enjoy the day. But I did want to release this because this is gonna help somebody, but you don't have to take the route everybody else takes. And if you simply seek God, which 100% of the time he wants you to seek him. Why? Because he says, aside from me, you can do nothing. Nothing means no thing. It means absolutely nothing at all. So he wants you to include him in, what are you wearing for today? Like when you ever have those moments in the morning when you're putting on clothes and you're like, Lord, what do I wear today? I don't have anything to wear. And he'll lead you to put on something, right? Me and my sister, Trina, were just talking about that yesterday. She was saying how God dresses her for the day. And I said, I believe it because I know the God that I serve. Like, I know how he works. He wants to be included. Like, there's times where I ask God, like, what polish do I choose? This polish on my nails, I just got my nails done on Thursday. This is 127. The color is 127 on the nail board. And I allowed God to guide my heart to the color. It's 127. And if you know 127, God has had me do so many words on that. It was 127. I wasn't just looking on the nail board for number 127. I literally saw the color and it just pulled on my heartstrings. And I was like, okay, I'll do color 127. And I got the same color on my toes. So God wants to be included in everything, but sometimes we focus too much on man and the direction he's taking other people in. Now, he could have very much been a part of a lot of people in that exit line, right? He could have sent a lot of people in that direction to go that way out of the Target parking lot, right? That could have been their route, but it does not mean it's your route. He could have put them there to teach them patience. You're going to wait. This is what I'm teaching you for the moment. That doesn't mean that he was teaching you the same thing or that that was a lesson that he wanted you to learn so you get the easy way out. And that's just how God works. He's not what's the word I'm looking for? He's not a respecter of man. He doesn't choose favorites. We're all his favorites, but just like a parent, he handles and deals with us differently, right? So that's the word, guys. I love you guys. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to probably just sit out here for a minute because it feels good, and we joke because I feel like this is like my vacation home. So I'm so glad that God sent me sisters in Christ, like Sister Leslie, Sister Toya, and many of you guys know them because, like I said, they have their own ministries and they're just amazing. And I love seeing people expand, even if it's not on YouTube. Like, I love seeing people that God has allowed me to come in connection with grow in their calling and in their purpose. But like, I'm so thankful for Sister Leslie, Sister Toya, Angie, Trina Bina, and that God is giving me like a little circle of women, Sister Dana, just like the beauty in who they are. Like Sister Dana Ray, if y'all don't know who I'm talking about, but she also has her channel as well, her ministry. I don't like just saying channel because we're not on here. We're not a TV show. We work for the Lord. But I just love the beauty that these women carry. And I remember praying years and years and years for friends and, a sisterhood like this. And I'm looking forward to seeing what God does for all of us as brothers and sisters in Christ. All of us, like the expansion, and even if he only gives you that small group, I prefer a small group of people to communicate with. I don't care about being in big groups and large parties. Like, I care about being in the group that God has divinely connected me to, and divine connections are so important. It's so important that you do not connect yourself to people just because you're in a season of isolation and I feel by myself. It's so important that you let God divinely connect you to friendships, any type of relationship, even when it's church, whatever relationship it is. It's important for you to allow God to be the picker of those relationships, the chooser for you, because then if he chose it, doesn't mean that it's long term, but if he chose it, that there's purpose behind it. It could be short term friendship, relationship, whatever. But you know, because God chose it, there was a purpose in it, right? I could choose something and God never destined for me to be in that type of relationship, friendship, whatever. And there was no purpose in it because I chose it, right? So we want him to choose, because when he chooses, there's purpose. There's purpose in the path. There's purpose in the pick, right? When God chooses. But I love you guys. Have a great Sunday, and we'll talk soon. Bye.